Welcome to West Hartford. It is wonderful. It is so wonderful to see so many of you that are interested in networking and finding out more about sustainability. So I'm really, really thrilled to have you all here. Again, if you could just kind of quietly enjoy your eat and drink, it would be really appreciated. Just a little bit more, a little lower on the talking, if that would be great as we begin our program. Lynn Scudder, thank you so much for having me. Lynn will be up here in a minute. We are honored. West Hartford is honored to be hosting all of you. And I want to thank our town manager, Rick Ledwin, who's in the room. Rick, raise your hands. Thank you so much. Catherine Deviney from West Hartford is in the room. Helen Rubino Turco. I'm not sure if we have any other staff here, but thank you all for all that you do every day. It is so nice to see you all mingling. I, even in my brief mingling, already have come up and networked with some people and have some great ideas now to bring to our town manager and start talking to my council about. And that's what this is all about, to create the energy, the buzz, to listen to each other's wonderful ideas, and to really begin and commit to this journey of sustainability and making our state a more sustainable state together. The benefits of Sustainable CT, many of you know because you're here. We in West Hartford are firm believers in the Sustainable CT program. We were one of the first communities to join the program in 2018. And I must say that I know for a fact how much we have benefited in these, I could say brief 4 years, but I know many of us feel like the last 2.5 have count for like dog years. But anyway, it's really been a brief time, but it is really, we've made a significant progress. Not only does the program give us actionable framework to move forward, but we also have taken full advantage of the resources that are available at no cost to registered towns. Technical assistance, trainings, equity coaching, and of course, the Community Match Fund. Lynn and her staff are wonderful to work with, and I know all of the municipalities who participate in the program feel the same, and thank you for your hard work. You can give it up for Lynn and her staff. I'm not done yet, Lynn. That's the first. But I want to just tell you a little bit of what we've done. Today is I'm sorry, I said just a minute. You can come up, you can join me. Today is a celebration, and as you can see, there are many awards to be presented, and all of you should be really, really proud of the work that you have done. But West Hartford's to be one of many towns to be recognized today. We have wonderful, engaged residents that encourage us and urge us every day to do this good work. And I will say, our younger generation feels an existential threat to climate change, and they are pushing us to be quicker and faster and more robust. But the partnership between the town and the community are absolutely essential. We have achieved silver certification, and today we will be one of the first towns to achieve the climate leader designation. I know the gold level certification is coming, and I will tell you today that West Hartford is committed to gold, but we're not committed to doing gold just for gold. We want to do this the right way. It's easy to get wrapped up in the points and the awards, but Sustainable CT is about more than that. It's about connecting, learning, taking the time to build relationships, ensure everyone's voice is heard, and working towards goals and getting to these goals together. It's a process, and sometimes that's more important than the ultimate result. So West Hartford might not get to the gold next year, although we hope so, or even the year after, but I know we will get there with the help of our community and our incredible staff, and by collaborating with towns like you. We just had a really unique experience that I want to share, and then I'll wind up and Lynn will really come up here. So we just, West Hartford won the first place in the end of 2020 for U.S. Conference of Mayors, the Climate Protection Awards. And that was based on a virtual net metering program that we did.
And soon after that, some other towns have implemented virtual net metering programs, and it's a really cool experience. So there was a delegation from South Korea, actually, that came here. It was 18 people that came to visit us for an energy and climate discussion. They were on a one-stop trip arranged by the Korean Consulate General in New York, and the visitors were mostly environmental or sustainability officers from cities and towns and provinces all across Korea. Some of the cities were large suburbs of Seoul with millions of people and high-rise apartment buildings, but others were smaller industrial or rural provinces. It was amazing to share ideas. We had a little bit of a language difficulties, but we had interpreters that were trying to keep up with all of us, and there was a lot of energy and interaction, and a lot was learned. So we learned about challenges and opportunities, all incredible ideas with solar, electric vehicles, climate equity, and more. Some of them didn't even know what their other Korean towns were working on, and so they were able to network as well. What I think it does is it puts our work on this global perspective, that we are making a small change, each of us and every one of us, but in the context of a big world. And if we all keep making those small changes, the big changes will come. So knowing these people are working on all of these things halfway around the globe is inspirational. As I said before, we are all in this together, but I want to just share one quote. It's the action, not the fruit of the action, that's important. You have to do the right thing, not you may. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power. It may not be your time. But you will, as long as you keep doing the right thing, there will be fruit of that effort. And that was Mahatma Gandhi. Not exactly, but pretty close. Anyway. So with that, thank you again for being here. I know you're going to have a very enriching time here. Congratulations to those who won the awards and all of you for participating. And now, Lynn Stoddard. Thank you.
Hi. Welcome. It is so great to be amidst old friends and new friends. We haven't had a chance to get together for a long time. So you get it. It's kind of like mingle, stand, sit, eat, drink, casual. We'll have some formal parts of the program today and some chance to just catch up with each other. So first of all, happy birthday. We're 5 years old. Sustainable CT. Yes. We launched, I think it was November 28th, 2017 at the CCM convention, and been going full steam ever since. So that's part of the celebration today. You'll see some slides going by on the stage. We've picked an example from each town that's going to be honored today to just kind of showcase some of the actions. Please find each other at the break and share stories, ask questions, learn from each other. And we're really looking forward to a great afternoon. So thank you, Mayor Cantor and West Hartford, for hosting us in this beautiful space and making this possible today. We're going to do a number of things. We've got a lot to celebrate. We'll start by talking about our first 5 years. We're going to hear some reflections from one of our funders and members of our board of directors. We're also going to recognize some amazing partners that have been with us from before day one, and just folks who've made our first 5 years possible and successful. Then we're going to take a little break. You'll have a chance to catch up, get some food, get something to drink, talk. We'll get back on stage and present the Bronze and Silver 2022 Certification Awards and the first ever Climate Leaders. And we'll conclude with some congratulations from some of our partners. So that's the run of the show briefly. And now we're going to start with a little bit of that appreciation of who's making all this possible. We're going to start with our Sustainable CT team. So you guys come up on the stage. You can't miss them because we're all wearing our brand new Sustainable CT t-shirts, which you're going to get when you go out today. along with a water bottle. So, all right, this is the all-star team. We've got Mary Dickerson, our certification program manager, Jim Hunt, communications manager, Kate Richard, program manager of best practices for sustainability or something like that. She writes the actions. Kate Govert, our program assistant, Torin Radiccioni, program assistant, Jess LeClaire, senior program director, and Joseph Dickerson, our community partnership manager. So give these people a round of applause. Yeah. All right. A small but mighty team. I'm sure you've interacted with many of us, and you may not have met in person. So make a chance to do that today. We also have members of our board of directors here today. We'll hear from some of them, but for the moment now, if Sustainable CT Board of Directors could just raise your hand, and there's a designation on their name badge as well. Great. So these people are making this totally happen. Very excited to have some of our fellows from 2022 and equity coaches and our equity trainers, Thought Partner Solutions. So if any of you are here, can you just raise your hand so people can find you later on and we can thank you. Yeah. So we're really excited. As you know, we're completely independently funded, and you'll meet some of our fabulous funders in a few minutes. We also, for the first time, have some corporate sponsors for this event who are supporting us, and we hope will stick with us. So our title sponsor for today's event is Electric Power. Jeff Kirks is here. You want to just wave? Please find an opportunity to say hello to Jeff and thank him. Our other amazing sponsors today, I'll read off, and they're on the banner up there. Energize Connecticut, both Eversource and Avangrid, Connecticut Water, Connecticut Green Bank, SLR, Casella Waste Management, Energy Source, Quantum Biopower, Thought Partner Solutions, and EcoQuip. So let's give these folks a round of applause. Let's see. We're going to recognize some funders and partners in a few minutes. I believe we also have some state representatives who took some time out of their busy schedules. Representative Jill Berry, Jillian Gilchrist, Cindy Harrison, Anthony Nolan, and Norm Needleman, I believe, are here. Let's give them a round of applause and make sure you find a chance to know. All right, so we're going to move into the part about kind of celebrating our first 5 years. And we wanted to start by helping everyone, besides the slides, just connect with, hear the voices, see the people, hear some of the stories about what's happening directly in our communities. As you may be aware, we've been really privileged for the past 3 years to have Connecticut Public Television feature many of the stories of our community match fund projects in their program Resourceful 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to show a quick clip from this year's episode, and as we get ready to do that, I just wanted to mention that the folks on TV are here, so if you want to get their autographs or just ask them about their project, we have Chris Schweitzer from the Climate Education and Action Project in New Haven. You'll recognize him from the screen. We have Carrie Kinsey here from Spring Free Community Art Project in Middletown. We have Christian and Bill Hayden from the Hartford Vertical Farm in Hartford. And we have Jacqueline and Ken Schluger from East Lyme, the Summer Sailing and Environment Stewardship Program. So Jim's going to hit the clip, and we will watch this.
The Tomcat Foundation, and Connecticut Green Bank.
Hunger is inexcusable. If you're hungry, we know the solution to that. It's not complicated. And so the fact that we have, you know, 1 billion people on this planet who are chronically hungry is just inexcusable.
At the heart of Food Center is this founding idea that there are communities for which basic things have been removed, and that there's a lack of access to some things that make communities complete, make communities thrive and grow in a healthy way. Food Center is committed to making sure that our communities, which are largely underserved communities, which are very black and brown communities, all of those same opportunities. We're there to insist on it, we're there to fight for it, and we're there to also recognize that we can celebrate victories and we can rest through the work.
Thinking about climate change, who's the constituents? Like, who does it really need climate change development? You talk about safety or police, that can be urgent. Schools, school funding, hiring teachers are urgent. Roads fixed, potholes, these are all things that are today that people want. Climate change is not like that. It kind of is like mature adults to say, all right, we got to deal with this and put resources into it now because we'll be paying later.
The mission of the Sailing Academy is to instill in children and adults a love of sailing, an appreciation of sailing, a knowledge of sailing, as well as an appreciation of the environment and the stewardship of our natural resources. My goal is to make sure that we make sailing available not just to kids with wealthy families, but to all kids.
These groups, striving to raise awareness and bring about positive changes, doing other things a partnership with Sustainable CT, whose collaboration has provided crucial support.
So, big thanks to our friends at CT Public for helping us to tell these great stories and the funders who supported that. You can see all 3 episodes of Resourceful by Googling CPTV Resourceful, and then you'll find it. You can watch the whole half an hour for each one. It's great. So I think that video helps show one of the most kind of rewarding and inspiring things about Sustainable CT. As you know, we're working at the level of municipal decision making and all these actions and policies and programs that help make our communities more inclusive and resilient and efficient and carbon friendly. We're also working from kind of a grassroots level with people who have great ideas about things they want to see happen in their community, and we support them in crowdfunding and then double those dollars through the Community Match Fund. So if you're not aware of that opportunity, please find a chance to talk to Joseph Dickerson today or any of these other project leaders and learn more about it. And at the heart, as the Mayor Cantor said, we can get caught up in like the points and the certification and kind of like the recognition part of this, which is great and why we're here today. But we're really at the core about community building, right? Connecting with each other. And I find like to have to remind myself of that at my town sustainability meeting when people are just sitting around the table talking about whatever. And I'm like, but wait, we got to do some stuff here. And then I say, wait, this is like, these are people who care about our town, and it's not essential that we like get through the agenda tonight. We'll get there. It's just important that we're connecting with each other on what we want our town to become and why we're all here and, you know, what our part is in that. So I sometimes have a hard time remembering that, and sometimes our towns are really eager to get those points and get certified. But just a reminder that, you know, this connection with communities is really very important and such an inspiring part of this program. So I am going to now introduce a very special person. Michelle Knopik is the president of the Emily Hall Tremaine Foundation. She's going to share some reflections on really not just our first 5 years, but how we got to the first 5 years and some of those initial conversations. Michelle and I probably met 8 or so years ago, and one of the first conversations was about how can we help our communities in Connecticut become more sustainable and focused on climate change and really help make Connecticut a great place to live for all people. So I'm delighted to welcome Michelle to the stage, and we're so grateful for her support.
Good afternoon, everybody. Funders love to talk about origin stories, right? Sometimes we like to be at the beginning of something and where all the excitement happens. And I've been thinking about this, Mayor Cantor, I think you were reading my notes. I've been thinking about this in dog years, actually, because if a dog year is 7 people years, I think looking at what it takes to create an organization and an initiative also takes about a dog year. It takes about 7 years, and you have 5 years, happy birthday, and about 2 years of incubation. So, and when you think about something big like that, what do you tend to talk about? Oh, you tend to talk about milestones, and you tend to talk about increasing the volume. How's that? Any better? Okay, good. Lynn and I actually, this is about people connections, and you get to know people at a heart level, and Lynn and I have connected in so many ways, and we actually now each have grandchildren who have had milestone 1-year birthdays, and you think about, oh my gosh, what are the milestones of sustainable CT? You kind of have to start with conception, and conception actually starts with everyone in this room, and it was a lot of first conversations. There were a lot of first tables. There were tables around government. I remember when then Representative James Albus was talking about, whether sustainable CT or something like it should be housed in state government. I remember talking with Joe DeLong and Ron Thomas and all the team at the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities and those first tables about, what's the lead of the league on something like this, on the conference? And there was Sustainability Task Force and Betsy Patterson, who couldn't be here today, but can we call her the grandmother of sustainable CT? I think maybe. I've got grandmotherhood on the mind. So, and then there were conversations from the community with environmental advocates, with civic leaders, business leaders. Raise your hand if you were at one of those first tables. Right. Yeah, we're peppered around, and I love that. There's Alyssa, hi. There's the old guard and the new guard, and that's how it should be. The baton should just keep getting passed on. And really, it's about mining all the resources and wisdom that you have. This is a weaving of wisdom that already exists in all of your communities. What makes it thriving? What makes it connected? Where is your community and creative voices coming from? And it's grown up into these sort of dual milestones, because I want to track 2 things, because there was a very important decision that Sustainable CT should be an independent organization, outside of government, maintaining some independence and its own sustainability, political wave after political wave. So you've got sort of maybe the birth of the Sustainable CT. Let's maybe call that your menu of actions, your roadmap of sustainability was part of your birth story. But then you had to have the birth story on the nonprofit side. Who and what is going to keep this initiative, this amazing statewide interactive platform going? So you had seed funders like Hampshire Foundation, Sabina's here, and Common Sense Foundation, and Ted and Eric are here. And the first home of Sustainable CT at Eastern Connecticut State University, before they were even a nonprofit on their own. And then there's a milestone of kind of like your first steps or your brand recognition. And that came when you were looking at, what does it take to be certified? What does it take to be bronze? And what does it take to be silver? And what does it mean to be having peer support and co-opetition along the way? And what happens on the milestone on the organizational side? Oh my gosh, this organization has to grow up. They have to have fiscal systems and HR put in place so that there's professional pathways for all that great staff that you saw here to be working in and working towards. Oh my gosh. Then what happens in milestones of development? You start to see the individual personality, right? The gifts and the skills of the thing that is coming into being. And I really see that as the expression of the equity coaches and taking that equity toolkit and applying it to all the actions that you're taking. And then the fellows who came on board to support towns in working through all of these lenses with their skills and gifts. All right, milestone on the organizational side. Yeah, you get to grow up. You get to file a 501c3 with the IRS, and you're like standing on your own and raising some money and things like that. That is amazing. At the same time, you're starting to have a footprint outside of Connecticut. National funders are knocking on your door to be part of conferences where you're talking about this program because it is a model of civic infrastructure, of civic connection that you all are a part of. And then I'd say right now, where are we? We're at your amazing growth phase. And I think the kind of signal beacon there is the Community Match Fund. How can it not be? Wonky funder terms, you're democratizing funding. That's awesome. But you're really just putting power and investment in the people, in the communities who say, these are the solutions that are going to make our communities stronger and more inclusive. And I love that there's all these amplifier funds within the Community Match Fund, too, for composting and Sabina and Hampshire Fund on climate and supporting organizing work. Well, gosh, on the organizational side, where are we in the growth? Not only are we the staff that there exists now, but the staff is growing, and I have to say there's this communications arm happening. And why is that so important? Because you have stories of impact. You are inspiring your town, your neighboring towns, and that's going to enable you to work together, and that's part of your gold certification so that there's local impact, regional impact, statewide impact. That logo of Sustainable CT are those spiraling circles, the rock that drops in the pond and ripples out. That is the growth and where you are. So these things are critical, and I would have to say as a funder, when you're looking at sort of organizational growth and development, I'd put you all in the top percentile of growth on every milestone there is, and I'm just thrilled to be here as part of your celebration, and I just want to encourage you to maintain this momentum of connection and inclusion and creativity. So on to the celebrations.
Thank you, Michelle, and Alexis Bibbins from formerly with Tremaine Foundation, who helped us through the past few years, is here as well, now with Connecticut Council on Philanthropy. Hey, Alexis. All right, so we're going to move on now to hear some other reflections on the first few years and do some appreciation of folks. Ted Schaefer is the treasurer of Sustainable CT's Board of Directors, and he also was one of the first people at the table when we pulled a bunch of mayors together and said, what would help you to help your communities become more sustainable? So I'm pleased to hand the mic over to Ted.
Great. Thank you. Good afternoon. It's good to see so many of you here today. So as Lynn mentioned, I am the treasurer of the Sustainable CT. And I know there's a lot of excitement. I felt that when I said that. So how many, since we're raising hands today, how many people have served as a treasurer in an organization? Look at that. Thank you. I'm in good company here. So, it's really been my pleasure to do that. There's been a tremendous amount of growth associated with this organization. And it's kind of nice to see something you work on and when they grow up. And so it's been amazing to see how Sustainable CT has grown, evolved through meaningful collaboration, and become a reliable partner with so many Connecticut municipalities, community organizations, individuals, agencies, foundations, and institutions. I'm proud to say that it has become a reliable platform for strategic planning. And I didn't think that it was going to happen that quickly. We didn't think about that. So many municipalities put together 10-year plans of conservation and development. And I'm hearing and seeing that what we all do for Sustainable CT is becoming integrated into those plans. So it happened sooner than we thought. So there have been and continue to be so many passionate and talented folks that have been, that made this all happen and continue to support its success. I've been lucky enough to have a front row seat, as Lynn said, since the beginning, and here are a few memories that I have from that journey. So in 2016, Lynn, who was at the Institute for Sustainable Energy at Eastern Connecticut State University, approached CCM to discuss a vision of supporting CT towns and becoming more sustainable. That was the spark. That same year, Joe DeLong and his team at CCM created a task force on sustainability. That is where I joined in with a dozen or so community leaders from around the state to meet, share input, and create a vision for such a program. It's already been mentioned, but I wrote in my notes, I wanted to mention one of those people that was around the table, and that was the former Mansfield Mayor, Betsy Patterson, who brought her valued experiences and encouraging, pragmatic voice to the conversation. She really encouraged me to express what I thought, for everybody to share their thoughts and not hold back. And for that, we all thank you. So thank you, Betsy. So a lot more happened in 2017. The task force then evolved into the Sustainable CT Advisory Committee. It was staffed by Lynn and her team at the Institute of Sustainable Energy. I served as the chairman. Laura Francis from the task force was the vice chair. We ultimately achieved our goal to oversee program design and development. So if that wasn't exhausting enough, the effort continued in 2017. This led to the creation of nine statewide working groups to discuss and catalog the ingredients that make our towns great places to live and to identify best practices, which later became a roadmap of Sustainable CT actions. Over 200 municipal leaders and stakeholders participated in those working groups, which was amazing. So with all this focused effort and collaboration, Sustainable CT's certification program was launched at CCM at the convention on November 28, 2017. So finally, I would like to share a personal experience that I think captures what we have in common. Last month, I attended the homecoming and reunion festivities at my alma mater, Tulane University in New Orleans. And we just happen to have a jazz band here tonight, if you guys want to join in. So during that visit, I was lucky enough to hear New Orleans native, current Tulane professor, and best-selling biographer Walter Isaacson speak on his insights from his life's work. Isaacson has published best-selling biographies about Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, and other contemporary figures. He also has led the Aspen Institute, CNN, and he's been the editor of Time magazine. So Walter spoke about the common theme of unbounded curiosity in the individuals he has written about and met that make differences in innovation in the world. Walter felt that they think more, they question more, and ponder the world around them deeply. And for all of us, he said it's about connecting our passions to something larger than yourself. So from me to you, thank you for connecting your curiosity and your passions to Sustainable CT. So in honor of our 5th birthday, Lynn's going to join me back up on the stage, and we're going to acknowledge some of the people and organizations that have been with us since the launch. Thank you.
Thanks, Ted. All right, so the first folks, as all the towns know, you have an opportunity to submit for certification twice a year, 2 different opportunities. It's not the 8 of us in these T-shirts reading all these applications alone. We have about 35 partner organizations of experts in each of these content areas who review your applications so that it's consistent for every town submission. And then we do other layers of quality control and cross-checking. There are a handful of people who have been reviewing your submissions for all 5 years. So that's twice a year. And it's kind of like being a teacher. Everything comes in and you had a grade. You have a week or 2, get the report cards, the comments out, people ask questions. And they are amazing leaders in their fields and amazing supporters of our program. They also provide a lot of technical assistance. So I'm going to call our 5-year review partners to this stage, please. And I think you know who you are. You can all come up. It is Emily Basham, Aaron Boudris, Dave Dixon, Jeff Martin, Joan Nichols, and Jen Weymouth. Come on up. Don't be shy. So I'm just going to read them one by one. Yeah. All right, first we have Emily Basham from the Connecticut Green Bank. Thank you so much, Emily. Dave Dixon from UConn Center for Land Use Education and Research. And Joan Nichols from the Connecticut Farm Bureau. And Jen Weymouth, maybe not here, from DEEP. And we had a couple other people who we knew couldn't come today. John Hudak from Regional Water Authority and Victoria Wallace from UConn Extension. So these are the amazing people putting in the hours to do the work. Thank you so much. Yep. All right. Next up, you've heard that we're all independently funded. You got that. Takes a lot of fundraising to make this operation work and make it free for towns. So we wanted to recognize some of our founding funders and the folks who have been with us from the start, providing multiple years of funding for our general operating costs. So I am going to call up Tremaine Foundation, Hampshire Foundation, Common Sense, Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut, and Connecticut Green Bank. If you would all just come up, please. So you met Michelle Knopick from Tremaine Foundation. Thank you so much, Michelle. Sabina Shelby from Hampshire Foundation. You'll be hearing from her in a little while. Ted, hi. Ted Lowenthal from Common Sense Fund. Can you guys space yourselves across? And Brian Garcia, President and CEO of the Green Bank. So give these folks a hand. Is Miriam Malahi here? Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Oh, Tom wants to get a picture. One more second.
Go so fast.
Thank you. All right. And now, this year, our team really wanted to honor someone who's done amazing things to support towns in this program. And I'd like to call Dr. Amy Thompson and her students to the stage from the Yukon Smart Buildings CT Center. Amy, are you here yet? So thank you, Amy and students. Smart Building CT is sponsored by Energize CT in our ratepayer dollars with Eversource and Avangrid. And Amy and her team help towns take their energy data, benchmark it, put it into Portfolio Manager, get the automated data flow from your electricity bills, and actually look at what's happening in all your municipal buildings and schools. That information is used to understand opportunities for energy savings, cost savings, and greenhouse gas reductions, and tap into the many programs provided by Energize CT that help us make our buildings more efficient. So they have done an amazing job of supporting our towns. All of you, I know that they've worked with over 45 towns through the Sustainable CT program. It's a free service. If you haven't contacted Amy and the team yet, I encourage you to please do that. And this is kind of the first step on that ladder of understanding your data and your energy use and then reducing it and finding opportunities for that. So thank you, Amy and team, so very much. Okay, so while Tom's taking one last picture, we're going to give you a break. It's time for a little more food, some music, some visiting, and then we'll reconvene in a little bit, 10, 15 minutes, and do these certification awards. So have some fun. Yeah, we're doing okay on time.
perfect for this.
For the pictures, so it's outside the school.
No. Was he all freaking out?
Yeah, come on in, get ready. All right, if you can finish up your conversations, take that last sip. I'm joined by our board of directors co-chairs on the stage, Brian Garcia and Laura Francis. They are going to be leading us in the presentation of 2022 Bronze and Silver Certification Awards. So come on and get settled. And it's with great pleasure that I'm going to hand the mic over to Brian Garcia, President and CEO of the Connecticut Green Bank and the longstanding co-chair of Sustainable CT Board of Directors.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Garcia, co-chair with Laura Francis of Sustainable Connecticut and president and CEO of the Connecticut Green Bank. Now, I'm not going to be as articulate as I really want to be, but in hearing Lynn's remarks earlier and Michelle's remarks earlier, it really, for me, it takes me back to what Alexis de Tocqueville saw in Democracy in America back in the 1830s. You know, he saw people in communities across New England engaging and supporting their local governments through community-based organizations, civic engagement. And I think if de Tocqueville were here today, he would say that this is the modern-day version of what makes America great in terms of democracy. So just a big kudos to all of you for what you're doing for Connecticut. So we're grateful to all of you, municipal officials and staff, residents, grassroots leaders, partners, and funders for co-creating the vision for Sustainable Connecticut over 5 years ago and helping us build a program that truly reflects local action resulting in statewide impact. So again, thank you to all of you. Our progress is impressive. 129 towns and cities participating in Sustainable Connecticut, representing over 86% of the state's population. 72 towns, including those we're honoring today, have earned Sustainable Connecticut certification. As you know, this means that these towns have successfully taken action that impacts a broad range of categories that makes our communities more efficient, resilient, and carbon-friendly, in places where all residents have the opportunity to thrive. With support from Sustainable Connecticut and our partners, the municipal leaders and residents here today and throughout Connecticut are increasing the use of renewable energy, celebrating the unique arts and culture of their communities, reducing waste, increasing affordable housing opportunities, expanding access to healthy, locally grown food, making our streets safer for all users, walkers, cars, bicyclists, public transit, amplifying community connection and civic engagement, and so much more. Well over 3,250 successfully implemented sustainability actions to improve the lives of people in our community. So thank you to all of you. So Laura, Lynn, and I are honored to share some of these stories as we acknowledge towns that have earned Sustainable Connecticut bronze level certification in 2022. You can also see one example of the many actions taken by each town on the slides that have been showing behind us all evening. As I announce each bronze certified town, please bring your whole team to the stage so that we can congratulate all of you. For towns unable to be here today, one of Sustainable Connecticut's 2022 Sustainability Fellows will accept the award for them. All right, so we are going to begin with the town of Rocky Hill. Is Rocky Hill here?
All right, Rocky Hill!
So Rocky Hill is an example of sustainability initiatives within Action 5.5, Inventory and Access Historic Resources. Rocky Hill completed a historic asset inventory and cemetery asset assessment and held a webinar to educate historic homeowners on energy efficiency and maintenance. All right. Thank you, Rocky Hill. Congrats. Ashford. We have members of the Ashford community. Fantastic. So one example of Ashford's accomplishments in the implementation of Sustainable Connecticut Action 6.5, promote public transit and other mobility strategies. Ashford promotes bicycling for young residents through the Parks and Recreation Commission's Summer Bike Camp and through the Board of Education's adoption of a bike and walk to school policy. Okay, Cheshire. We have, all right. In their work to achieve bronze certification, Cheshire implemented Action 3.12, Enhanced Pollinator Pathways. Cheshire maintains a pollinator garden with native plants and has provided ongoing outreach and education events, both in person and virtual, for dozens of residents to learn more about pollinator gardens. Cheshire. Deep River. All right. An example of Deep River's work is Action 6.4, Support Zero Emission Vehicle Deployment. Deep River hosted an electric vehicle car show at Deep River Elementary School, promoting electric vehicles and educating residents. East Haddam. For East Haddam, we'd like to highlight their work on Action 10.4, Develop and Promote Community Growing Spaces. East Haddam hosts a community garden with plots available to residents, local organizations, businesses, and farms. East Haddam. East Lyme. East Lyme implemented Action 4.1, Map Tourism and Cultural Assets. East Lyme created a tourism and cultural assets map highlighting local food, businesses, recreation, arts, and more, and hosts the map on the town website. East Lyme. Goshen. As you know, Action 1.1, Optimize for Equity, is the only required action for Sustainable Connecticut certification. Here's an example from Goshen. In response to community concerns, Goshen formed a task force and recommended improved communication strategies to better reach residents, including a new monthly calendar and revamped town newsletter. Goshen. Lyme. We love to see multi-town collaboration, and Lyme provides a good example in the implementation of Action 4.4, provide an arts and culture program for youth. Lyme, collaborating with Old Lyme, took an equity approach to creating an arts program for youth in grades 6 through 12, surveying local students and offering a variety of low and no-cost summer arts programs. Lyme. New London. New London implemented Action 3.9, Manage Woodlands and Urban Forests. New London's Forest Advisory Committee, New London Trees, maintains a municipal tree cover database and active tree planting program. New London. Southbury. Southbury earned certification points for Action 3.3, Engage in Watershed Protection and Restoration. Working with the Pomperaug River Watershed Coalition, Southbury has embarked on a number of watershed restoration and protection projects, including a stream walk assessment survey, riparian buffer maintenance, and river cleanups. Southbury. like that orange tie. Stonington. All right. Stonington included Action 2.1, support redevelopment of brownfield sites in their sustainability initiatives. Stonington created an inventory of local brownfield sites and was awarded a state grant for the remediation and redevelopment of a brownfield site at the Mystic River Boathouse Park. Torrington. Torrington set an example in Action 3.8, implement low-impact development. Torrington promoted low-impact development in its plan of conservation and development. Local subdivision, inland wetland, and zoning regulations, and by installing permeable pavers in a parking lot. Torrington. Waterford. An example of Waterford's Sustainable Connecticut focus is Action 3.13, Promote Dark Skies. Waterford led a public education and outreach campaign on light pollution and the benefits of dark skies on wildlife. Waterford. West Haven. West Haven earned certification points for Action 8.1, Hold a Sustainability Event. From July to October, West Haven hosted twice weekly farmers markets on the town green, promoting both local food and sustainability-focused events in the community. West Haven. Last one of our bronze, Windsor. Windsor did some innovative work implementing Action 3.12, Enhance Pollinator Pathways. Windsor created pollinator gardens and made pollinator-friendly improvements to existing gardens, including the Sensory Garden at Northwest Park, which is designed for the use by people with visual impairments or limited mobility. Windsor. All right, thank you for these inspiring stories here for our bronze.
So now that our co-chairs are getting their exercise running across the stage, we're going to keep that up. I'm going to give it to Laura Francis, who's our other co-chair, and Deputy Director of the South Central Regional Council of Government. She's going to present the silver certification.
So Lynn asked me before I award the silver awards today to reflect a little bit on my experience over the last 5 years with Sustainable CT. I was one of the lucky people who served on the task force of CCM to consider creating a program, then on the advisory committee, who actually built the program, and then now serve on the board of directors. And those of us who have been in local government, or any form of government for that matter, for any period of time, know how long things take from conception to reality. It's something actually that we have to kind of accept as part of our jobs, that things have to bake a little while in the state of Connecticut, the land of steady habits, all right? But it is remarkable how quickly this all happened. And, you know, I was walking up the stairs with our good friend Michelle, and all I could think of was, build it and they will come. So congratulations, all of you, who helped us realize a dream. And you know, this program is not a top-down program, it's a bottom-up program. And your ideas literally are the things that create reality, the concepts that create reality. And I have been in those rooms, I have been in those meetings where ideas just came out of thin air. And before you know it, Lynn and her fantastic team makes it into reality. So I just want you to know that no idea is too crazy. So keep those ideas coming when you meet with us, when you communicate with us, and when you are building your own teams and programs in your communities. So thank you, everyone. All right, down to the nitty-gritty here. It is my pleasure to now present awards to Sustainable CT's 2022 Silver Certified Communities. Please come to the stage with your teams when I call your name. First is Coventry. Coventry provided residents and business owners with watershed education through a watershed health pledge and a community-based research and monitoring program at Coventry Lake. Next is Darien. An example of Darien's sustainability successes is Action 2.3, Inventory and Promote Local Products and Services. The Darien Chamber of Commerce unveiled a new app, Live Darien CT, that highlights and profiles local businesses. Next is Essex. As part of their certification application, Essex implemented Action 2.6, Participate in and Promote the CPACE program. Essex partnered with the Connecticut Green Bank to host an outreach event on the CPACE program, inviting both local businesses and energy task forces from nearby towns. Next is the town of Guilford. One of Guilford's accomplishments was Action 11.2, Grow Sustainable and Affordable Housing Options. Guilford donated land and in-kind services to the community organization Neighborhood Works New Horizons, supporting the creation of 16 affordable housing units. Next is the town of Manchester. Manchester included innovation in their sustainability initiatives. Action 13.1, implement your own sustainability action. This takes the creativity that I mentioned earlier. Manchester hosted a sustainability summer camp to educate local youth on sustainability topics ranging from energy to equity, growing our future. Next, the city of New Haven. New Haven has included resilience as a priority and implemented Action 5.4, assess climate vulnerability. New Haven, in partnership with the Yale School of the Environment, created a municipal climate vulnerability assessment and has joined with the Connecticut Institute for Resilience and Climate Adaptation on an in-depth resiliency study of the Fairhaven neighborhood. Congratulations. Can the team of Vernon please come to the stage? Vernon provides more examples of the impact of Sustainable CT's Community Match Fund. They earn certification points for Action 8.4, support a community match fund project, and civic engagement. Vernon collaborated with and supported community partners on 2 community match fund projects. The Tankerhosen River Bridge Repair Project and 2 public performances of Shakespeare's Henry V. Next town is Mansfield. Mansfield provides another great example of towns working together. Through Action 2.4, provide resources and supports to local businesses. In collaboration with nearby Tolland, Bolton, and Coventry, Mansfield created the 4-Town Action Plan for Economic Vitality, which includes local business support in the form of small business seminars, and internship search events.
I really did not expect to be standing here just with Chris. I thought Betsy Patterson was coming with me, but she's had a cold, so she couldn't. So I would send her 2 emails thanking her for her contributions to this and telling her about the references. But I'm sure she's grateful, and I'm grateful for the town ambassadors to contribute to the advantage to sustainable Connecticut over the long run.
And lastly, the town of Wilton. Among many other successful initiatives, Wilton implemented Action 10.3, Improve Air Quality in Public Spaces. Wilton improved air quality through a no idling campaign and through an anti-tobacco, anti-vaping campaign aimed at local youth. Congratulations. We give one last round of applause for all the silver certified tabs. And before I give up the mic, I'd like to highlight something that we're very, very proud of. We heard at least one other community had great success with this program, and that's the Community Match Fund. The Community Match Fund was launched in 2019 and built upon Sustainable CT's foundation in equity. We empower residents and community organizations to lead the changes they want to see in their neighborhoods and their communities. Through crowdfunding, we help these neighborhoods and project leaders engage others who share their vision. And Sustainable CT matches the dollars raised through crowdfunding to enable great things to happen. You've seen some of these Community Match Fund stories in the video clip that Lynn showed at the beginning of today's celebration. But let me give you some figures. Sustainable CT has invested over $1.3 million to 239 Community Match Fund projects in 76 towns throughout Connecticut. This investment has been more than doubled by donations of over $1.5 million from over 12,700 residences, businesses, and other crowdfunding donors from really around the world. That is powerful evidence of civic engagement and shared vision in community-led sustainable projects. Please find some time to go to the Sustainable CT website and learn more about the Community Match Program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian and Laura. All right. And now we are going to introduce and recognize the very first climate leaders from Sustainable CT. Sabina Shelby is going to come to the stage to help me do that. I'm going to just make a few remarks. The goal of the Climate Leaders designation to accelerate implementation of actions that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and prepare our towns to prepare for the climate crisis. The climate leaders we're awarding today are following in the footsteps of an unsung hero, one of our earliest climate leaders in Connecticut. And we've named our inaugural Climate Leadership Award after this hero, the Eunice Newton Foote Climate Leader Award. So who knows, staff can't raise your hand, who knows who Eunice Newton Foote is? She's an unsung hero, right? She was born in 1819 in Connecticut during a time when women weren't recognized as scientists, yet she sought scientific training and conducted experiments. In 1856, Eunice demonstrated for the first time that heat-absorbing properties of carbon dioxide and concluded that increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would lead to global warming. Her groundbreaking work was presented by a man at a meeting of the American Association for the Advancement of Science in 1856. The importance of her work went unrecognized. 3 years later, 1859, the physicist John Tyndall, a man, published his paper and became forever recognized for discovering the global warming potential of carbon dioxide. So Eunice Newton Foote remains relatively unknown today, and that's why we wanted to bring her into this award. In addition to the importance of her work in the early understanding of climate change, she shares something else of a strong connection with all of us here today. I mentioned she's from Connecticut, and let's hear it up for the town she was born in, Goshen, Connecticut. Yeah, we got a big team here from Goshen. Nice. So yeah, Goshen started working on sustainable CT in the past year and just pulled all the people together and did an amazing job working towards bronze certification. So we thank Eunice Newton Foote for her scientific inquiry and foresight. We're proud that she hails from Connecticut. We think that Eunice and her story need to be told and shared, and we're thrilled to celebrate the inaugural Climate Leader Towns with the Eunice Newton Foote Climate Leader Award. So Sabina Shelby, our friend, president of the Hampshire Foundation, is going to share a few remarks and help present these important awards.
Well, I'm honored to present the 2022 Eunice Newton Foote Climate Leaders Award to 5 municipalities that have implemented multiple actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Just so we're all on the same page as to what we're talking about in terms of the actions that they've taken over the year, I'll read a few examples, and then later, as we introduce the 5 municipal leaders, we'll give you more examples. Reducing energy use in municipal buildings and schools. Increasing the percentage of renewable energy used in municipal buildings and schools. Converting street lights and other outdoor lighting to high-efficiency lights. Implementing complete street projects. Streamlining solar permitting. Supporting electric vehicle infrastructure. Managing woodlands and urban forests. Conducting community energy campaigns, and much more. Just a little bit of background of Hampshire Foundation. 2 years ago, we decided to put all our focus into climate change. In fact, we've decided to spend down our entire endowment in 10 years on climate change. It's that important. We fund Sustainable Connecticut because they have provided this roadmap to climate leaders. And we have funded them since the beginning, 5 years ago, because they are providing the on-ramp for all towns to make our future more livable and more sustainable. What always amazes me is leaders in general. To me, they're like the person that is on the dance floor dancing alone. And then some miracle happens and someone else joins them. And it changes the dynamics in the room. And then you look back and everyone's dancing. The whole floor is full of dancers. And that's what leaders, like our 5 municipal leaders, are like for me. And we admire them, and I have a feeling that we're all going to be on the dance floor soon. I'm going to read the names of the 5 municipalities, and please join us up here, and I will continue to read one action of many that they performed this year under this umbrella, the Climate Leader designation. Fairfield, one example of Fairfield's Climate Leader initiative is implementing Sustainable Connecticut Action 3.4, develop an open space plan. Fairfield led multiple open space improvements, including Rockland Park Native Planting Project and a pollinator pathway at the Burroughs Road Park. Pardon? Should I put this in? Would the town, is this on? Would the town of Glastonbury please come up? An example of Glastonbury's successes, it's not on, right? I'm not sure how to do that. An example of Glastonbury's successes in reducing greenhouse gas emissions is implementing Action 7.2, reduce energy use across all municipal buildings. Glastonbury achieved a 14% reduction in energy use across municipal buildings. One has to assume that's a lot of money too. Would the town of New Britain join us, please? An example of New Britain's accomplishments is Action 6.4, support zero-emission vehicle deployment. New Britain assessed local electric vehicle infrastructure and created a charging station recommendation guide. Would the town of Stratford please join us up here? One of Stratford's climate leader successes is Action 5.6, streamline solar permitting for small solar installations. Crucial. Stratford achieved a gold designation in the National Soul Smart program by implementing several solar-friendly policies and initiatives, including streamlining permitting for small photovoltaic systems. And now the home team, West Hartford. West Hartford has demonstrated leadership in climate change in many ways, including Action 13.1, which is that one that we heard about before. Implement your own sustainability action. And in this case, West Hartford Town Council unanimously adopted a resolution declaring a climate crisis. After a year-long process aided by municipal staff and community organizations. Let's have one final round of applause for the first ever Sustainable Connecticut Climate Leaders.
Thank you, Sabina, and congratulations, towns. Okay, we're going to let you visit again and have some fun chatting, but the last item of importance is the official launch of gold level certification. So as you know, we've had bronze and silver certification for these first 5 years. A lot of towns have been asking us what's happening with gold. We've been working on it with input from all of you over the past few years. Towns, partners, stakeholders, and so on, towns again, and tonight we're launching it. It's live on our website. Climate Leaders is truly exemplary leadership, and yes? Yeah. So, exemplary leadership, and we've designed it with 4 main things in mind. To achieve climate leadership, towns need to go deep on climate. So they must achieve the climate leader designation for gold. The second thing for gold is they need to go deeper on equity. You're familiar with the roadmap. They need to do everything in category 1 on equity and 4 equity toolkits, a deep commitment and lots of leadership. The third thing gold towns will have to do is demonstrate collaboration with other towns by leading a regional initiative on sustainability. In addition, they'll have to do 1 action in every category and achieve 750 points. So there you go. Easy, right? All right, so we look forward to giving the gold certifications next year on stage. And our very last item of business is congratulations from a couple special partners. Rick Porth from CCM, are you here? CCM was our original partner in convening towns to talk about their vision and their needs around sustainability, and helped create that original CCM task force. So Rick is going to say a few words, and then we will invite Jeff, our title sponsor, to the stage.
Thank you, Lynn. Really great time together today, great turnout. I'm here representing Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, Joe DeLong, and our board of directors, some of whom are here today too. We're very proud at CCM to be partners with Sustainable Connecticut. As you see today, a lot of good work has been done over these past 5 years, and we're proud to be together with all of you as municipal leaders. There's elected leaders here, there's community leaders and folks from the business community, and that's what civic engagement and municipal government is all about when it's at its best. So congratulations. You've got a little bit of a history about Sustainable Connecticut, and other folks have talked about CCM's role at the beginning. Again, we're proud to be partners, proud to be part of the beginning of Sustainable Connecticut, and we intend to partner with Sustainable Connecticut for the long run too. Congratulations to all the award winners, bronze and silver. and the new climate leaders. A lot of impressive work that's been getting done. And I'll just finish by saying this work that Sustainable Connecticut does, this work that you do on all of these action items, it's good for our municipalities, it's good for our residents, and bear in mind, it's good for the whole state of Connecticut. It's really good, the work you're doing, and we need to sustain it, Sustainable Connecticut, and keep going. So again, CCM's proud to be here tonight with you and proud to be partners with Sustainable Connecticut. Congratulations, everybody.
Thanks, Rick. Jeff, come on up. Okay, last word we're giving to our title sponsor, Jeff Kirks. He's Vice President of Electric Power, and we are delighted for a new partnership with them and your support for today's event. There you go.
Thank you very much, Lynn. And it's kind of fitting that I followed CCM because CCM led me here to Sustainable Connecticut. And it was at the event that they just finished that I met Lynn, and I'm sure this is going to be a very fruitful partnership. My first instinct when I look out at all of you is to think of what a professor of mine said about a decade ago. And he said, "The planet's burning. We need to do something quick." And I said, "Really?" And then I ended up getting a degree in global sustainable policy. So that led to this whole event coming through for us at Electric Power and our Sustainable Cities Initiative, which we developed about a couple of years ago, which allows parity on both the economic level as well as location, and allowing anyone to be part of the solar storage revolution, which I'm sure you all have heard is big news now with the passing of the IRA and all the different incentives that are out there. We're very excited and proud and honored to be part of your community now, hopefully, and going forward. And congratulations to everyone. It's really inspiring to see you all and all the great work that you've done. I'm reminded of one last quote, that never think that a small group of committed people can't change the world, because it's really the only thing that ever has. So thank you very much, and congratulations to all the people.
Enjoy some food and friendship.
Thank you.